the man that is meant for you, or at least I'm gonna say this for me, the man that is meant for me is out there, and he will find me. And when he does find me, I would like for him to find me when I'm good. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to do a get ready with me today because I need to get ready. You guys always ask about my makeup, so why not do my makeup and let's chat about something that's been on my spirit for a little bit, okay? And that's all about the pressures of marriage and just how to maximize your single life, because that's the season that I'm in right now. So let's do that. If you're excited, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, come on. Thank you. Okay, so everything that I'm using in terms of makeup today, I'm just gonna leave in the description box below, but this is the Sephora Collection Best Skin Ever Foundation. It's one of my new favorites. But yeah, let's get into it because I'm definitely in the season of my life where like I get a lot of dating questions, and like because I guess because I'm a 26-year-old Nigerian, marriage has to be the only thing that I could be possibly thinking about right now. So I have a lot of thoughts on it, and I kind of just wanted to share them with you guys, and you guys feel free to let me know your thoughts as well in the comment section. So yeah, like I said, I am 26 years old. I am a Nigerian American, and if you guys know anything about the Nigerian culture, I am very ripe for marriage. It is now time, and I should be looking, I should be making myself available to men so that my husband can find me. And you guys know, if y'all follow me here or on Instagram, I always joke about like, where's my husband as well, because me too, I don't want to be suffering anymore. Somebody needs to come and take care of me. So it's not that I'm like anti-marriage or anything. I do think a conversation needs to be had, or I just think there's a lot more to life than getting married, and there's a lot of like prep, a lot of self-work that really isn't talked about, which I think every woman and man should be doing before they even think about dating and getting married. I just wanted to preface with that. But yeah, there's definitely like a lot of pressure. Like if I go to like Nigeria right now, my whole family is always like, so when are you getting married and all these things. And I think it's really interesting because a lot of people that ask these questions, they don't even be happy in their own marriages. But that's for another day, because I'm not trying to come at anybody. But I think what is more important personally to be asking right now and to be focusing on is myself, and really figuring myself out, having an identity within myself and being okay with that before trying to start a life with somebody. So I just want to apologize if this video is going to be a little all over the place, because I didn't really gather my thoughts, but I'm just gonna speak, okay? But yeah, I'm definitely at the point in my life where like the concept of marriage is now real for me because I kind of just grew up like, oh yeah, like marriage is something down the line. I don't really ever have to like I never really thought about it. I'd always be like, oh yeah, I want this, I want this, I want that. But like now it's like, oh, like the reality of it is here. Like it's like, oh, we actually need to start like low key, like really thinking about the things. What would I even want my marriage to look like? Like, what's my ideal marriage? It's just very real now for me. And I feel like now that that's kind of like, I've had that click in my mind for myself, because I think in life, things just have to click for you. I've never been the type to do things just because people are like, well, it's time to get married, so now you have to start thinking about it. Like, no, I'm gonna start thinking about it when it feels right to me, and that has not stirred me wrong till now. I think it's all about when you cross that bridge, when you get there. And for me now, it's like, okay, yeah, what does marriage look like? When would I want to actually like possibly have kids, and all of these things, like real questions. And apparently I'm a little behind, because some of you girls, yeah, apparently I've been thinking about this since you were young. I wasn't, so I actually wasn't. Like, I promise you, I just wasn't. I was thinking about how I was gonna take over the world. Like, I just wasn't thinking about marriage for real. So now that I'm kind of like really thinking about the realities of it, it more so hit me that I don't really know myself. So how am I supposed to how am I supposed to add someone else deal with their emotions when I can barely process mine? Like, seriously. And this is like real stuff, and I think for me that I mentioned this in one of my previous life updates. That's kind of one of the things that prompted my wellness and fitness journey late 2020, because I started thinking about just like, if I'm gonna have kids, right? And you know, more likely than not, it's gonna shatter my body. It's gonna be over. Fingers crossed it won't, but like with the way that I was going, the fact that I'm not really active right now, the likelihood of my body bouncing back after kids, if I'm not active and eating right now, is very low. And not because, I'm not pulling this out of thin air. Genetics will tell you, okay? I can just look at my mother, I can look at my grandmother, I can look at my aunts. It's not looking good for me. So that's what like kind of prompted me to honestly just start taking my health and my fitness a little bit more seriously. Also because I'm probably never really gonna have this body again. So please, I might as well enjoy it. I'm not about to sit here and be thinking about how my stomach is hanging when more likely than not, it's gonna hang even further after children. So these are the things that like reality checks for me. And that kind of made it click in my mind, like, okay, we need to like start taking my health and my body and just my fitness a little bit more seriously. That like snowballed into a whole other thing, because when you start working out, like you can work out for one reason, but after a while you're gonna realize like there's a lot more to this, you know, it's not just surface level. And that's kind of what happened for me. Like it kind of opened up a can of worms, and now I'm like looking at my relationship to food and just a whole bunch of stuff, and it really prompted like my self-love journey and just moving that forward, you know? So that's one aspect. And now I'm thinking about, okay, I'm single, right? I ain't dating nobody's son. It's lovely, to be honest. But now I'm like, okay, if I want these things out of life, if I want an amazing man, if I want this God-fearing person, and I want this and I want that, you kind of got to look a little inward and ask yourself, are you emulating those things? All of these things that you want, are you emulating? You want a patient person, are you patient? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that part is not talked about enough. The prep before finding your person. A lot of us women, we kind of like wallow in our single season and we're just like, I want somebody and I want this. But then let's say God presents you with the man of your dreams. What would you do with it? Me, I was scatter it because I was self-sabotaging a lot. So I had to figure that out. And that's kind of the journey that I'm on right now. And I'm so grateful for this epiphany, to be honest, because if I kept just kind of going the way I was going and doing the things that I was doing, these things are gonna follow you into marriage. They're gonna follow you into a relationship. So if you don't kind of get it together, you're just gonna have to learn it in marriage. And sometimes it doesn't really end that well. So I think that's just a really, really, really important thing to talk about. So right now, I am not actively dating, TMI, because I realized that I need to learn more about myself. Like, truly. It's been such a great decision because I've learned so much. And a lot of, like I said, like a lot of us women, we kind of wallow in our single season, and the whole time we're just like waiting for our person. And it's like, there's a person right in front of you that you need to nurture and learn how to love. And at least for me, I kind of realized I don't really know how to love like that. And why use my husband as my first trial? I have myself, I have my friends, I have my family that I can practice with. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that's so important. So right now I'm in the space where I recognize that probably in the next few years, a lot of my status will definitely change. It will. And if I want to set myself up for success in my marriage, I need to do the work now. And I'm in a great period and space where I actually have the privilege to do so. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different when you're single and the whole time you're like waiting for someone to come, and then it's different. And it's another thing when you're single and you recognize, oh, these are probably gonna be the last few years of my, like the last few years in my single season. So let me actually maximize this time, not to do whatever I want and just waste time, but like be intentional about getting to know myself, working on those things, those flaws you don't really want nobody to know about, and really understanding them, and you know, just learning how to love, you know what I'm saying? So I feel really grateful to be in this position right now where I can recognize and have this time to really foster a relationship with myself, and just like be so intentional about working on myself for me. Working on myself for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, the person and all of that other stuff, you know, finding a man in my dreams, like, that's gonna come when you know yourself, and like when you're strong in yourself, your values, and just all of that. Like, then you'll be more clear about the person. When somebody steps into your life, you'll be clear if you want them in your life or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, no more operating from a place of fear where you're like, oh, this man is great, so I should give it a try because, you know, there's not a lot of good men out there. The man that is meant for you, or at least I'm gonna say this for me, the man that is meant for me is out there, and he will find me. And when he does find me, I would like for him to find me when I'm good, when I am secure in myself. You know what I'm saying? And when I actually have the bandwidth to be with someone, to share my life with someone. Oh, this life of mine is sweet. So not everybody can enjoy this tip. If anyone that is gonna stand next to me, they're already rich. Rich in spirit, life, family, values, God, you're gonna get everything. And when you know that, you operate a lot differently when you actually genuinely know your value. So I'll give you an example. I'm opening up today, come on. I was at like a low club. I don't really go clubbing too much anymore because I realized I don't really care to party that much anymore. But I used to be a big party goer, like good time, enjoyment, Chizi's there. But now not so much, just cause it usually doesn't lead to anything great. It really doesn't. So I'm just at the point where I'm like, meh. I'd rather be home. Not even just home. I'd rather like just have different experiences, like go to a pottery class, or like go to a concert, go to a Broadway show, like go to dinner. Just different stuff outside of partying all the time. And that was another thing these are the things that you kind of recognize in yourself when you're going on your self-love journey. I realized that I don't really even like partying like that no more. Anyway, I just happened to be there because one of my cousins really wanted me to like go. So I told her I'd just be there for about an hour and then I'll head out just to support her. So anyway, I went. That's how some man comes to me talking chat. Can I have your number? One thing that I'm working on is being clear in my boundaries, and also giving myself a second to figure out how I'm feeling about something. Because a lot of times I feel like, I don't know, we just be backed into a corner and we feel like we have to say yes. And it's like, no, you don't. You actually have a choice. So I was like, I'll think about it, because I'll think about it. Like, let me think about it. Anyway, after a few, like maybe 30 minutes or so, I was about to head out. I mean, I didn't think about it, but I knew that I didn't feel comfortable giving him my number, because if I did, I would have wanted to give him my number immediately. And in that retrospect, it's like, it's not even about playing hard to get. I'm literally putting myself first and giving myself time to figure out how I'm feeling right now and honoring that. Anyway, so I was about to leave, and that's when he was like, oh, you didn't give me your number. And I was like, actually, I don't really want to give you my number. However, you know, we could like exchange Snapchats or something, like something else, because I don't want to give you my number. I don't. I'm gonna stand firm in that. I don't really have to explain myself to you either. I didn't say this to him, but in my mind, it's like, I'm just telling y'all, like, I don't have to explain myself as to why, as a woman, I do not feel comfortable giving you, man, my number. But he wasn't having it. He's like, no, I asked for your number, give me your number. And it's like, first of all, I don't have to give you anything. Like, what? I mean, what are we talking about here? And then that's how I realized, well, I didn't realize it in that moment, but he was kind of he was trying to like almost put his power over me. So we're now in a power play thing. But the thing about me is I'm also a dominant person. So we could do this all day. we could do this all day. So he's like, why won't you give me your number, da da da. And I'm like, listen, you want to exchange Snapchats? Like, what? Because I'm not giving you my number, period. And at a point I almost gave in, because I was just like getting like tired, and to myself I was like, maybe you should just give him your number. But like, no, Because no man should ever, especially if they're just meeting you, should never put you in a position where you now feel backed against the wall. A lot of Nigerian Igbo men do this. You know, they're very misogynistic. It's a very misogynistic like culture, and they feel like the man is dominant. So like, this was an Igbo man. Anyway, we ended up exchanging Snapchats, and then he ended up messaging me on Snapchat, basically asking me why I didn't give him my number. And I was just like, yeah, no. So that's one thing. Also in the club, he's trying to dance with me. And I'm just at a point right now where like, I don't need any type of temptation in my life. And I really don't. So I didn't feel comfortable dancing. So I said, no, please, can you just stay? In fact, I did want to dance, but I didn't want to dance. I don't want to dance that close. So you have to stay here. Now, in his mind, he was probably like, oh, this girl trying to play hard to get to. No, I'm putting my needs first, period. This is humongous for me because I used to be someone that would just not really know what I'm feeling. So I just kind of allow things to happen. I'm going with the flow. And it's like, no, that's how you end up attracting and giving the wrong signals to people that actually should not be in your life. And as y'all can tell with this man, like, what am I dancing with this man that can't even respect my right to limiting your access to me by giving you my number? Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so when you kind of put yourself first, you value yourself truly, it comes off, like it just radiates. You already, like, you're gonna wean off the ones that were never actually that serious about you. And these are things that I'm learning about myself, and I'm only learning about it because I'm very intentional about it. I'm in therapy. I go to therapy once a week. I've been doing that for 3 years now. Okay, so I've been on this journey. So it's like, and this is the thing about, you know, your self-love journey and getting to know you. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time, but like, I'm in therapy. I have a personal trainer. I have a lot of accountability in my life right now, and all things for me to get to know me, to like figure my stuff out. And it's important. It's so important. Some of you guys, maybe you may not have access to therapy or things like that, but like, I think it just first starts off with seeking and wanting these things for yourself. And you know, wherever you are in life, you're gonna figure it out. Like, God is gonna make a way for you too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not one path to getting to know yourself and stuff like that. So I wouldn't, just for some of you guys that may not have access to therapy, I just want to encourage you that there's definitely something out there for you too. But also, like, I journal. I have friends that I go to the gym with like twice a week. I'm in Bible studies, like a lot of things that are just feeding me, truly feeding my soul. I'm learning more information, and it just helps. And I think a lot of us women need to really do more of this. One thing I think about now is like how I will never actually have this time again. Like, again, one day I'm going to get married and I'm going to probably have kids. Those things are beautiful, right? But we're not gonna act like they're not like huge life-changing things. Like, it's not the same. And it will more likely than not never be the same, especially once you start having kids. And I don't know, I'm really starting to recognize that now. So now I'm like, oh, this time is really precious. It's really precious, and I gotta get it together. Because also, like, when we think about kids, like, a lot of times we're like, oh, when I have kids, I'm not gonna do what my parents did to me, and but we don't realize, if you're not intentional about figuring out why you do certain things, you're going to start emulating some of the things that your parents do. Like, you're just going to, because that's how the self-conscious works. Like, you pick up these things in your mind and they kind of just stay there if you don't ever address it. So, like, for example, like some people that grew up in a trigger warning, an abusive home, you see a lot of times that if they don't kind of go to therapy for it or just kind of figure that out, they start to emulate that with their partner or with their kids by accident. It's not like they're even trying, right? But that's how trauma works. That's how trauma works. Like, you don't get to just pick and choose the things that you don't want to like emulate. Like, it just happens. So you have to address it. So, and there's a lot of things that I'm like, okay, yeah, I cannot carry this into my next generation. Like, no. So I have to do the hard work now. But yeah, I really hope that a lot more women kind of have this epiphany and are able to, and not just women, but men too, because men really need this as well. I just hope that we really like use our single season and maximize it in a way that puts ourselves first, because women have a lot of power when it comes to men and dating, right? We're actually the one that leads in the beginning. In the beginning, we're the one that leads. Like, he's going off of your signals. Whatever you allow is what he's gonna do. And we have seen this time and time again, okay? If you let that man treat you like a dog, woof woof, he will continue to treat you like a dog. He just will. Clown, you do clown things, he will treat you like a clown. Like a big clown. And he won't ever even break up with you. He'll just keep you there. That's not my portion. That's not my portion. It's not. In the end, you have to want things for yourself. That's the only way I personally feel like these are ever gonna really work, and you're gonna really be able to attract the person that is truly meant for you. A lot of us do things for men, so that we are gonna, you know, so that we could be, I don't know, so someone can find us, or work out so that this man can see that I work out. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to do things for yourself, like, because you want it. When you genuinely want something, then you attract someone that also genuinely wants that for themselves as well, and then y'all connect on that. You still have to be independent together. Does that make sense? My single season, like, when I do get to that point, like, I'm gonna be really sad, like, just because things will not be the same again. It just doesn't matter how we slice or dice it. Like, it's just not gonna be the same. You guys should even pray for me. Giving up my space, wow, that is serious. So you guys should pray for me. That's a serious prayer point for me. We really underestimate that, and I'm sure like a lot of you guys that have experienced this will, you know, back me up in the comments about just how much we don't take advantage of our single season. Like, and just some of us really miss being single and just having that time to ourselves, because it's not the same. I have a lot of female friends, older, some that are married, and I talk a lot with people, so I get intel. And that's another piece of advice that I'll give some of you some of you girls as well. Like, it's good to have different types of friends that can kind of tell you things that are coming up that are a little more ahead than you. But yeah, like, a lot of women really really miss just time by themselves. Even if they enjoyed it, they still miss it just because it's just so different. And I'm sure some of y'all will be able to really share more about this if it's like your personal experience. But yeah, I know, and I've heard, and I have an idea that marriage is a very big mirror. So like, all of those things that you're trying to hide right now, it's all eventually gonna come out to the light. And it could be big things, little things. And a lot of these things you can catch and work on now. Like, you don't have to, not to say that you're gonna be perfect in marriage, like, you're still gonna grow during that time, but there are just some things that you can get ahead of it. You can get ahead of it now by not being so focused on finding someone and really being focused on finding yourself. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at in my life. I can only speak from my experience, and you know, whatever you get from it is what you get from it. But yeah, right now I'm just in a space where I'm really just trying to get to know myself, and it's so fun. I've been taking myself out on dates, going on dates with friends, really being intentional about like loving on them as well as loving on myself. But yeah, and like, I'm realizing there's so much to do in the world. Like, there's so many things to do. What's it called? I mean, I've been working out now for about almost 2 years, and now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, I actually kind of like this. Not because I like moving, because I don't. But like, it actually makes me feel really good, like after the workout, not during, but you know, after the workout. I went to a Broadway show the other day, and I was like, wow, I forgot how much I really love theater. How would I have known? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to take different things. Like, I want to do pottery classes. I want to take a painting class. I already travel. I realized I don't even like traveling like that. Like, there's just so many things to learn, and that's just the space that I'm in, where I'm just learning about myself, and it's so fun. And I can only imagine outside looking in. I'm sure there's so many suitors. I'm not looking, because it's not what I'm looking for right now. Like, I don't need anyone right now. Not to say that I don't desire marriage or a partner. I do, but I know that God's timing is truly the best. And right now it's me season, and I'm completely and thoroughly content with that. That's kind of my thoughts on, you know, the pressures of marriage, dating, and how to maximize your single life. I think a lot of us women really do truly need to maximize our single life. And even if, by the way, if you are in a relationship, if you are in a marriage, this isn't to say that you still can't go on your own self-discovery journey as well. I'm just talking for the singles, and I'm sure you can echo in saying maximize the opportunity if you do have the freedom. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a little bit easier. It is. Because life is not as easy when you have to juggle so many other things and responsibilities. Like, career is already a thing. Now you're having a man and children on top. It's difficult, but it's not to say that it's not possible. In my confidence program, I had a lot of mothers, because as a mom, even though you're a mom, you still you want to have a sense of self too. And you absolutely deserve that. So, you know, I just want to encourage you guys as well. This is not to say that like all hope is lost for you. You can definitely go on your own journey, and go on a journey with your partner as well. If they're, and God willing, they are willing and okay with that. You know, I'm just talking for my single girls out there. This is an amazing opportunity. Don't waste it, so okay? And that's my one. That's what I'm telling you today. Take it or leave it, but me, I'm enjoying it over here. I really am. I'm really just happy to be in this space, because Lord knows I've been in worse spaces. I'm grateful to be here, and yeah, this is my makeup look. How does it look? I feel like I could do my makeup so fast now. It's so interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna do like the rest of my everything a little bit later, because I have some other stuff to film. But that's kind of my thoughts on that. I would love to know, what are your thoughts on the pressures of marriage, single season, dating? Let me know in the comment section below. I will be reading and chatting with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this chat, this get ready with me chit chat. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And I hope I've given you a reason to subscribe by now. So make sure you subscribe. Check out my other videos here. And I'm gonna catch you guys in my next one. Bye, y'all.